know what I'm saying? Because half these
So, Nicki Minaj sat down with Funkmaster Flex on Hot 97 to do an interview. You know, she just released her album Queen, which she looked really nice on the cover of. She looked really pretty on the cover of her album. So she just released that album, and she did an interview with Funkmaster Flex a couple days ago. And she talks about, now granted, she didn't just bring him up, but of course Funkmaster Flex, he brought up Safaree. And, you know, she was just saying in the beginning, like, he was a hype man, and he couldn't rap, which makes sense because I remember hearing him on Shitted on Him on Pink Friday, him being a hype man in the background. Like, I remember that, so that makes sense that he was a hype man, and if he knew how to rap, I'm sure she would have put him on and put him in the album, like put him some, like gave him a verse or something. But I remember hearing his voice all in the background. So she was saying that, she was talking about that. She was saying that she always wrote her own shit. Like, and nobody ever wrote shit for her, because I guess he was, Safaree was trying to claim that he would write stuff for her, that she wouldn't write her own shit. So she definitely cleared that up. And then she was saying that she, did everything for him, and he bit the hand that fed him. She said that he was dealing with prostitutes and stealing their cards. Like, it was just a whole mess. Now, granted, I don't think she would have talked about Safaree if Funkmaster Flex would have never brought it up. He did bring it up because, that's their job as, interviewers and, being on their talent and all of that. Like, he brought it up and she answered. So she goes, she talks about that, but she kind of kept it brief. Also, she talked about her song Barbie Dreams. If y'all haven't heard it, she talks about, it's just like a freestyle. She just mentioned so many names. Now, granted, before I tell y'all who all she mentioned, she said that none of this stuff was real. So she talks about Davies, just saying that she kind of like a dude like him. Talked about Lil Uzi, Mr. Shoulder Man. She talked about Young Thug and him kind of like talking with a list, like how you gonna try to holler at me and you talk with lists and shit. Yeah, she went ham. Oh, and she said Meek Mill still slides in her DM. So speaking of that, she was also talking about him, and she really never had nothing too bad to say about him, other than saying that he kind of did fuck up or whatever. But it seems like it could still be a little bit of hope for them, because when she was asked the question, she didn't say yes or no. So it may be a little hope, and honestly, it could be because clearly she doesn't care for Safaree. She never really talked about Nas, and it seems like her and Meek, they kind of like mesh well with each other. You know what I mean? So do y'all think that Meek still got a chance with Nicki? Do you think that they'll get back together? Do y'all think that Nicki is just over him? Comment below and let me know. Also, do y'all think that Nicki done got just a little bit bougie? Like, she just kind of on this. I mean, granted, she is the queen, so to speak. She was very relevant at a period of time when no one else was out. We can't knock her from that. Lil' Kim, she was doing her thing, but she kind of was retired a little bit. Remy was in jail, and Cardi wasn't even out yet. So do y'all think that she just kind of on her high horse just a little bit? Do y'all think that she just kind of on her high horse and she just kind of act like a little snooty booty just a little bit? And if so, do you think that she has every right to? Do you think she has every right to kind of act like she's the shit because she's been doing, she's been doing this consistently for a minute? So let me know your comments about that in the comment box as well. Lastly, Teyana Taylor decided to drop out of her tour, the Later That Night tour with Jeremih, because she felt like she was being mistreated. So she pretty much went on a rant on her Instagram Live and was saying how she was being mistreated, that Jeremih was a bitch, and that he was a diva, and that he just was kind of pretty much being shady. So she just was going into detail about how he even didn't treat the other talent on the show, or the other talent on the tour, fairly either. Like, she had to bring them in and make sure that they could ride on the tour bus and make sure that they had food and drink. So she pretty much just saying that he was a diva, and that them being on tour, they're on this tour together. Like, she's not opening up for him. He's not the headliner and she's not the one that's co-headlining. Like, she is, in the same position with the same level and same power as him. And she had a show in Boston the other night, and he says, shout out to Teyana Taylor for opening up for me. And she said that, they just had a conversation about that, and that they supposed to be equal, and so he being shady, and that he knew what he was doing. He was being petty. So she went on Twitter, made a tweet saying that she's dropping out. She's not finna deal with this shit. You know, she's pretty much done with the tour with him. And if I'm not mistaken, she still had quite a few shows left. And she said that she'll make sure people get their refund and all of that. So do y'all think she was being a little bit over dramatic? Do y'all think that she had every right to react the way she did? Personally, I like Teyana Taylor. To me, you know, she's the entree of it all, and Jeremiah is the side. We all know Jeremiah for being the hookster, so to speak. He's always on the chorus of a song. He's always featured, but he's never the one who has, like, I mean, not granted, he does have, you know, some songs, but he's never the main one on a song. If anything, he's known more for having these hooks than having more singles just by himself. And that's just my opinion. And if I'm wrong, correct me if I'm wrong and comment below and let me know. But I just feel like that when you get to a certain stardom, you should still have a same humble mentality. Because look, now that she done dropped out, let's see how many refunds is having to be issued because they came to see her and not him. So he needs to just humble himself down just a little bit. But again, comment below and let me know what y'all think about that. So that's all the entertainment talk I got for y'all today. I appreciate y'all tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe and make sure y'all follow and like my social media pages. It's DaniGo_Bree. I'll make sure it's popping up on the screen for y'all somewhere. And thanks for watching my video. I appreciate y'all. And I know I say this all the time, but I'll get better with posting these videos. I promise. Until then, just keep tuning in. Make sure y'all subscribe at the bottom right side of the screen so I can get notifications of whenever I post videos and all that stuff. And yeah, until then, toodles.